The most wonderful thing on this earth that man has made is in New York Harbor. Send me you're tired and you're poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free, the wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send me you're tired and you're homeless and you're tempest-tossed. Send these to me. And that is exactly what happened. If you were going to immigrate to the United States, 1800s, 1900s, if you were going to come here, you're going to come from somewhere. You're going to come from Germany or Italy or Poland or Russia or Britain or France. And if you were the Duke of Saxony, you weren't going to leave Saxony to go to the wilderness. So the people that came here were not the winners, they were the losers. And they came here hoping to not be. And what happened is all around you. And what happened is in recent history. What has happened is the world is advanced in a quantum fashion because of this collection of losers that created the richest, greatest, most creative, most wonderful, most generous nation that's ever been. What happened to these losers to turn them into the greatest winners in history? Energy, human energy, it exists in a direct relationship to the perceived possibility of a thing. If you think you can do it, well, this energy is released. You can do it. You can marry that woman. You can start that business. You can build that whatever. If you think you can do it, you're free to do it. Whereas if you think you can't do it, you go, what's the use? You don't do anything. You stay a loser. What is it that releases that energy? It's being in a place where it's possible. And that's what America is and has been. It's possible here. It wasn't possible there, but it's possible here. So what you want to do, if you want to continue this, and you might because there's nothing better, ever, is you want it to be a place where things are possible. You know, to keep it that way. Now what makes it not that way? What makes things harder to do? What makes things just impossible sometimes? What hurts it is anything that diminishes freedom. If you're not free to do it, you're not free to do it. So anything that diminishes freedom is not in the best interest of advancement or civilization or the work of man. Pessimists didn't put a man on the moon, nor did they win the Second World War. So what diminishes freedom? Laws, for one thing. Today, we got 310 million people. We have 110 million laws. What that means is everybody's a lawbreaker. You break 6 or 7 laws a day. Sometimes you only break 2 or 3 because you didn't get up. Anybody can be arrested for anything at any time. What an unkind thing to do to citizens. There was this thing called the 20th century. It was in all the papers, when there were papers. There was a man who spanned most of the 20th century, who may or may not have had the highest quality mind. And his name was Bertrand Russell, Lord Russell. And in the 60s, at the height of the Cold War, he was being interviewed. And they said, well, Bertrand, Sir Russell, what is the biggest danger in the world today? What is the biggest danger in the world today? And he said, well, the biggest danger in the world is obviously that the Americans become an administered people. low. Freedom makes it possible. But you got to be careful with it. The good Lord, who had eons to think about it, could only come up with 10 laws, half of which he wasn't serious about. How dull the wit of God when compared to the American lawyer, who can come up with 10 laws before breakfast, codify it by noon, and arrest 3,000 people by dinner. And he'd call that half a day. It is not the view of the Cassadaga group that all lawyers should be slain or their bodies tossed into a pit and the pit be filled in and tigers be posted there to roam. It is the view of the Cassadaga group that a huge tent be erected and all the lawyers be sent in there to play bridge the rest of their days for having created so many laws. They should rest. You know, like there are courthouses all over the South with the Ten Commandments in it. I was in one the other day, and Hannah Paris, a sophomore at the college there, was on trial. She had life without parole because she didn't respect the Sabbath or keep it holy. And then Johnny Cinco was also on trial. He got death without parole for having another god before that guy. And then Jane was up and she only got 40 years for lying about something.